tell you it is too late. Did you even
Hello, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for September 30th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 274. And today, I, Mayor Watt, and the Sentient AI will talk about the following articles. The last coal fire. So glad I got my Airpods back. Only bugs in the building. National Taco Tuesday. Directv merger incoming. And a prediction. Disaster for global automotive industry. AI votes for nuclear power. Time and temperature on the moon. Gen Z marketing script. And East Coast port strike. That and more. Powered by ohmtown.com. See you on the other side. Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
See, I didn't miss it. All right, hold on. I need to do something right out of the gate. If you hit NSN over in the chat on Twitch, it'll pull up all of the articles. So now it's part of the VOD. But to get the show notes over on YouTube, you'll have to wait a little bit because they don't get ported over. But you can always go over to Twitch. So if you're really anxious to get to the links that we're talking about, go over to Twitch, hang out with us there. But there's going to be the show notes over on YouTube as well. And the podcast. And the other podcasts that we do, there's 6 others on top of Non Sequitur News. Those are going to be updated as well. Well, they're already updated. Anyway, there's going to be more this coming weekend. At any rate, let's get into today's articles. The first one is over on Technology Today, and that's one of our 6 other shows and podcasts that we do on the weekends. Britain's last coal-fired power station closes. They're going green. UK's last coal-fired power station will officially close its doors on Monday, making Britain the first G7 country to end its reliance on fossil fuel to produce electricity. So, I have mixed feelings about this, because while I value it, the defensibility of power plants kind of relies on, I don't know, the ability for it to do what it needs to. Well, it needs to be able to generate power. And you can stick these things underground, deep underground, and let them off gas somewhere. Who knows where. But you can't do that with other green energy.
Well, and you can't defend all renewable energy.
Yep. Oh, whoa. I had to zoom in a little bit. So the closure of Ratcliffe-on-Soar, I think that's how it's pronounced. Watch it be Swar. A power plant that has dominated the surrounding central England landscape for nearly 60 years marks a symbolic step in the UK's ambitious plan to decarbonize electricity by 2030. They say UK's ambition to decarbonize, but I think it's ambitious because UK hasn't really felt the pain and suffering that could happen should things in the world get out of hand. And so solar.
But didn't they have that high issue with nitrogen in the agriculture? I thought that was in the UK, but I would agree in general. They have not seen the same things other parts of the world have.
Well, and I'm more talking about if things start going sideways, you have to plan for the worst and benefit from the best of times, right? So you plan for the worst of times. Well, they want to become carbon neutral by 2050. And they have this quote here. The era of coal might be ending, but a new age of good energy jobs for our country is just beginning. Energy Minister Michael Shanks said in a statement. Oh, and I went to a conference today wherein the same type of ideology was proposed about a different sector, wherein artificial intelligence is going to take over jobs, right? But us as humans, we go, you know what? We'll just get more better jobs somewhere else, right? This is like this I think it's a fallacy. And this is, I think, as well, right? You're not going to create good energy jobs in the country by eliminating energy jobs in the country without having the infrastructure in place to support the new good energy jobs.
That seems to be a lot of energy jobs, but I feel like that was kind of cyclical.
So the 350 Uniper employees and contractors that work at the site will either be redeployed to other roles within the company or leave the business within 3 redundancy windows before the end of 2026. So you can see they didn't find jobs for the people. They kicked the can down the road for a year and a half.
Right. They'll hope that they just leave or retire or whatever.
Well, unironically, they're going to lose the energy to seek out a new position.
Well, you don't want to lose energy when you're talking about energy positions.
Yeah, so of course it says the polluting fossil fuel played a vital role in British economic history, powering the industrial revolution of the 18th and 19th centuries that made the country a global superpower. Well, I mean, there were other things too, like, I don't know, invading countries and things like that over the entire history of existence. Maybe redeploying a little bit over to the
Too soon.
United States, maybe, and let's not ignore all of the little shenanigans that went on in the United States or anything, what made the United States a little global powerhouse. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I non sequitur off to some? Anyway, coal was the backbone.
I would expect nothing less.
So in the last decade, the fall has been even sharper, slumping to 38% in 2013, 5% in 2018, and just 1% in 2024. That is, even into the 1980s, it still represented the coal, represented 70% of the country's electricity mix before its share declined in the 1990s as the government began to implement stricter regulations to tackle pollution. Right. So where is it all coming from? In 2023, a third of the electricity production was made up of natural gas, while a quarter came from wind power, 13% from nuclear. So natural gas, I get, if they can find the source of natural gas.
Yeah, but that's a heavy reliance on, nuclear would be good if people will allow it to happen.
Yeah, I mean, nuclear, I think, is fine. I think it's defensible. You can manage the nuclear waste at this point. We're figuring out better and better ways to manage it. I still think that there's a lot way to go because basically a nuclear power plant is nothing but a steam engine. And so if you think,
doesn't sound very modern.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know, basically superheated fluid is sent through pipes to a turbine, and that is what generates power. So you can bury this thing underground as long as you have cooling fluid. You don't have a problem when cooling, I don't know, something like a pump fails to activate because blah, blah, blah. Somebody didn't see the Post-it note covering up an alert, which is what happened elsewhere. But you end up with 3 Mile Island, which was a minor breach. Anyway, so its last delivery of 1,000.
Unless you lived at 3 Mile Island, you might think otherwise.
The history doesn't bear out that there's been anything substantive there. They had this.
I agree. I think it has the reputation that it did, but
yeah, but
you're right.
It's not as bad as everybody thinks. And it was caught because we have checks and balances, but there isn't anything that's going to save the wind power. A quarter is coming from wind power, and all it takes is something thrown out of alignment, and the wind power will just tear itself apart. We're a little bit more baby city kind of thing for nuclear power. We're more on top of it. But anyway, I am Natural gas is not much better than coal. It's just a different source. And wind is indefensible. You can't stop a threat from damaging a large swath of wind generators. And I think that we should lean more on the fundamental research of nuclear power. But again, we need to move away from the inefficiency of being a steam engine. That won't come for another 100 years, I'd say. Anyway, there you go, folks. We're moving away from coal-fired power stations in the UK.
That'll be interesting to see if they do it first, if others will kind of follow.
Yeah, everybody in the UK is going to be, we did it first. We did it before it was cool, yo. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next article. It's over in Smack Talk. A stolen Ferrari worth $575,000 was found by tracking the owner's AirPods. I titled this segment, "I'm so glad I found my AirPods again."
You know, I think those don't quite compare in value to the Ferrari.
Have you ever lost an AirPod? So, time and again, Apple's Find My technology turns out responsible for tracking stolen goods. In the case of a recent Connecticut theft, a very expensive Ferrari was tracked down thanks to the millionaire owner accidentally leaving AirPods in the vehicle. And you know what I think? You remember that trailer that had 4 sports cars stolen, race cars?
Oh, yes.
All of them. It should just be standard now. You just put a little AirPod low jack in it and you're always going to be found.
Exactly.
The only problem is that you can find them. Anything that sends off a Find My beacon, if you're holding your phone
Right,
and
they're going to defeat that pretty fast, right? If they're really motivated.
Yeah. As long as you don't put them in Find My mode, the lost mode, then it won't. But the moment you put it in that tracking, it's going to find it. Ding. Well, it won't have information on it. You can still find them. It's very troubling. In fact, I have direct interaction with that kind of a thing because somebody lost something and using the Find My, they were found. Now, if only Apple Pencil would have the little low jack kind of tech.
Come on, Apple Pencil.
Apple Pencil, the Pro does, but not the others. So when you're in it, you're out $100 if that. Well, the original. Anyway, the article is wow. Come on, Ark. Stolen Ferrari worth $575,000 found because the owner left their AirPods in the car. Ryan Christoffel over at 9to5mac.com put the article together. That was the
Chris
car.
Kringle?
No, oh my gosh, don't do that. Chris Kringle. Too soon. Gotta wait till Christmas.
Too early.
Yep. So they say it's pretty wild that a car worth over $500,000 was successfully stolen, but then discovered thanks to a $129 pair of AirPods with Find My tracking. They were found again. So I suppose the lessons from the story are twofold. If you're a millionaire, leaving a pair of AirPods, currently just $119 in your Ferrari, isn't a bad thing to do every now and again. Yeah. For the rest of us, throwing an Apple AirTag in your car will accomplish the same purpose and at a much lower cost. Yep, I agree. They're only $80 for a pack of 4.
Might be worth it even for a non-Ferrari vehicle.
Yep, time to get them surgically implanted. Yeah. Some 30 plus years ago, it was an idea. Yep. Because people were freaking out about kids. Anyway, there you go. So if you ever want to find your bike or motorcycle or whatever, just plop an AirTag in there and you'll be able to track it down. You want to move on?
Okay.
Only bugs in the building. This article's over at Non Sequitur News.
It's only murders in the building.
I know, yeah. That's bug dies in apartment building. Residents go all out for memorial. Rest in peace. As the memorial grew each day, Jessica Bettis, I think that's how they pronounce her last name, felt excited by the element of surprise as she didn't know what was going to be there next. But apparently, a bug died on a carpet in a, I don't know what apartment building is what it says. Residents go all out for the memorial. They actually put a tombstone, and then there's a video, but I'm not going to play the video. I'll just show you some pictures. One of the residents, Jesse Bettis, shared on TikTok some images that documented what was going on. Somebody put a piece of paper with a tombstone on it, and then
like a little surrounding, I don't know, grave area or something.
Yeah, it's just really, it's
like a little
gross.
Stonehenge kind of.
Yep. I had nothing to do with this, but the mayor says to vote over here, and then there's something about please join us for should I click that? It's such a risky click on the internet. Yeah, okay. So yeah, somebody they have campaign donations. The mayor apparently says vote.
They put up some greenery.
They put some flowers down and something about the Beatles. Please join us for a memorial concert on September 18th. It says 2021, starring the Beatles. Why does that look so far back?
I have no idea.
Too funny. So this
I
one,
think that is fun.
oh, of all the signs that were created in the bug's honor, Betta says the wanted first-degree murder poster was definitely her favorite. It had a cartoon image of a roach and even offered a reward for anyone who could solve the mysterious crime. So it is almost murder, only murders in the building. Yeah. The fact that there are donations. Fun. Yeah, there are donations. The whole community is in mourning. The Beatles instead of Papa Roach is a crime.
I hope all these things were appearing when nobody was seeing them put out. You know, like you'd go by and then there were just more things.
Yep. That's funny. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over on the Mobile Channel. National Taco Day is tomorrow. That's Taco Tuesday. Here's where to score some deals. Alas, National Taco Day has been moved to October 1st, thanks to Taco Bell and the National Holiday Calendar. The holiday, previously celebrated on October 4th, honors one of the world's most beloved culinary dishes. Hold on a second. Something's slowing my system down.
Right, now I have to admit, I didn't know Long John Silver's or IHOP had tacos.
I didn't know that either. These don't look like that. Where are these? This is just a Getty Images picture. Francisco Velasquez over at QZ, QZ.com, but it's Quartz. Taco Bell, Long John Silver's, even IHOP are offering promotions. Yum Brands, who owns Taco Bell, said it had no other choice but to right this wrong for taco lovers everywhere after a legal battle last year to overturn the Taco Tuesday trademark. The rights had been held by rival Taco John's in 49 states except New Jersey, where a restaurant called Gregory's held the trademark, which is insane. I don't know how that works, but okay. In late October 2023, the trademark was officially relinquished because there was no way. Everybody was calling it Taco Tuesday, and without enforcing it, the trademark gets dissolved.
Right, it wasn't related to Taco Bell, right? Everybody was just using it at their house and wherever.
Yep. So it traces taco's origins trace all the way back to 18th century Mexico. I'd probably say further than that. Somewhere there was somebody making a what is it? Is it a hot dog or a sandwich? I think the argument is that it's a hot dog because the sides aren't separated. If it were two, then it would be a sandwich.
Then it would be a sandwich, right?
Yeah, if there's a hinge, then it's a hot dog. I think that's how it works. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. But then we saw grilled cheese hot dogs. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Check out YouTube for that, not from our channel.
So they actually have a slideshow. So I'm just going to do list the slides and we're going to look at all of the places. I mean, I'm just going to say where they are. We don't have to go to each of them. But what sucks about this is that they're not everywhere. Like all of these are not everywhere.
Correct. So you have to look around and find one.
So fish tacos from Long John Silver's is probably good, but
Absolutely. I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense given that they're known for their seafood.
yeah, they may not be near you. Rubio's Coastal Grill, or Rubio's as it is not anywhere. Right? They're only on the West Coast, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think there's any on the East Coast. Then there's Taco Bell, which is everywhere. Taco John's, which is fighting
49 states, apparently.
Well, they had the trademark.
You're right. They may not have a location in every state, right?
Yeah. Del Taco is another one. Who knows where a Del Taco is? They're not on the East Coast, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
So what the hell? This whole thing is about nothing but the West Coast?
Well, the East needs to get on board with Taco Tuesday and National Taco Day.
But all of these are like big
chains, franchises.
Franchises, yeah. Which means mom and pop shops. Real.
Okay, but these are the places that are having well advertised deals. There might be local deals at your local restaurants.
2 fish tacos for $5 from Long John Silver's. I don't know. I like Long John Silver's, but I haven't had it in 6 years, 7 years, maybe longer, 10 years. Oh my God, it's been forever. I got to cast a wider net, I suppose. Let's move on. The next article is over in the Mobile channel. Directv will buy Dish and Sling TV for $1 and a bunch of debt. Broadcasting industry landscape has changed significantly since the two satellite providers first tried to merge in 2002 and were blocked by federal regulators. So now they're going to close the deal, and guess what? All of your options are going to contract just as much as the competition does.
Right, mergers and acquisitions. Quality will go down in this case, like choice of channels or whatever, and the cost is going to go up.
Yep, and support's going to go down. You're basically going to be left to languish. Todd Feathers over at Gizmodo.com put the article together. The text statement says the broadcasting industry landscape has changed significantly. Yeah. Lack of competition. Less and less and less. At least in terms of technology providers.
Telecom has been really bad for mergers and acquisitions, maybe more than other industries.
Yeah.
Although not airlines, right?
Airlines are horrendous. I mean, they contracted from like 100 down to like 3. It's just ridiculous. But I found a chart recently, and I think I'm going to go through the chart in one of the shows. I'm not sure when, but I want to see. There's only like a top 10 of broadcasters, and I think they own everything, and it's just surreal just how constrained our choices really are, as opposed to what they could and should be, should regulatory capture and market forces actually function. Well, Directv announced Monday, by the way, that is not how it's spelled.
Right, isn't it just Direct TV? There's no extra T. Yeah.
So, satellite companies under different corporate umbrellas first tried to merge in 2002 when EchoStar attempted to buy Directv from its then owner Hughes Electronic Corporation, but the deal fell apart. At the time, EchoStar had approximately 7.5 million subscribers and Directv had 10.9 million subscribers. By 2016, Directv had doubled its customer base to 25.5. Let's see here. As part of the deal, AT&T, which owns 70% stake in Directv, has agreed to sell its shares to TPG. Hold on. I'm trying to find... Where is it? Anyway, it's a private equity firm that owns the remaining 30% of the company for $7.6 billion. So,
Yeah, we're going to be down to like 3 telecom companies or something, if that.
and this is Directv, and Directv,
which already merged, didn't it? Or something.
Directv merged with AT&T, but then it broke off again before it actually did anything. Like it really wet the bed. Just it was crap. And they merged accounts, and then they just it was garbage. And because I was subscribed to DirecTV, it was just horrible experience. Anyway, I was one of the early adopters, and they kept on raising the price up $5.
I mean, isn't that what every cable company does?
Pretty much. And now it's going to be worse because it's a private equity firm that's going to do nothing. I mean, it's just going to sap the wealth out of it. Guaranteed. It's going to be a horrible experience for everybody. Anyway, it's going to go private, and you're not going to be able to do jack. So you better figure out a way to get out of it now. Ha ha, cord cutters. That you never cut the cord. You never cut the cord at all. So,
right, it's only gotten more expensive and more complicated, which how can that be possible on top of cable?
Man, this is going to be horrible. But I'm glad that I don't have to deal with DirecTV or Dish or Sling. I never bought into that ecosystem. Anyway, statements from the company executives announcing the deal emphasized that the merger would increase rather than hurt competition for both television and wireless network customers, which is just complete bullshit. I mean, yeah.
It's not good for consumers.
Yeah, it's marketing. Let's move on. Moving on. Next article is over on 4-Wheel Tech. Hurricane Helene's devastation of a small town in North Carolina could spell disaster for global automotive industry. So the trail of Helene has left destruction all over North Carolina in particular, and others, but the impact of the massive storm may disrupt automotive industry worldwide for months to come. Spruce pine, North Carolina, is the world's leading source of high-purity quartz for semiconductors, and it's been horribly impacted by Hurricane Helene. So this article is put together over at jalopnik.com by Andy Kolmowitz. And this one town apparently makes an inordinate amount of quartz for semiconductors. It's high purity. The mining district in the town produces the high purity quartz used in production of silicon wafers for semiconductors and solar panels, according to Raleigh News and Observer. As it turns out, this tiny town, smaller than 5 square miles with just 2,200 total residents, is one of the most important, if not the most important, sources of the critical mineral in the world.
I mean, who knew? And if it wasn't for this hurricane, would anybody realize this?
Yep. So even a tiny impurity like one that is less than 50 parts per billion can ruin the final product, according to News and Observer. The more perfect the atomic structure of your silicon, the more easily and freely electrons can flow around, says Conway, who wrote this in their book. Ed Conway, who authored the 2023 book Material World, named spruce pine as the source for all of this high quality quartz. So now you know, folks. Everybody, there's a tiny town somewhere in North Carolina that is an absolute treasure to the economic system of the world, because without its high quality quartz, chips. So now we have this, and on top of it, a strike is coming tomorrow.
It's going to be a good combination. An article points out that we had, of course, the 2020 chip shortage, and that impacted tons of car deliveries, and I guess it's kind of like a preview of what's to come.
So it says, if production can get up and running in a few days or weeks, the global supply chain shouldn't be too badly interrupted. But if the disruption goes on for months, we could see a chip shortage take hold again. So buy your chips now. I'm sure that there's speculators that are like, oh, is this going to be legit?
Right,
Or,
and buy your cars now if you think you need one.
oh my goodness. And this is going to happen again and again unless infrastructure is built out to protect it, because climate change is real. And if you haven't been paying attention to just how real it is, go look outside. Actually, no, don't do that.
Well,
because
look at anywhere in the path of Hurricane Helene.
Yeah. I mean, just look around, because there's a lot of people out there that are going to go outside and go, well, the weather is great, and so there's no climate change. No, your little tiny little world is not the world. Just because you have to, like a cat, you have to observe it, all the rest doesn't matter. No, that's not how the world is.
No.
So, won't go into the devastation that Helene has brought in various states, but let's just say that this is just the chip off the old block of
Well,
bad
we need
things.
the chips back on the block.
Yeah. Most of the companies that are making these crucibles, they say here, they will have stockpiles of quartz. Most of the companies that are taking those crucibles and using them to make silicon wafers that then become chips, they will have these stockpiles as well. But once they run out, good luck. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in the mobile channel. Another nuclear plant will come online as AI increases energy demands. The
So I
DOE.
didn't know we had a nuclear plant article when we were talking about the coal plant.
Yeah, and even the UK is looking at raising the number of nuclear power plants. They flinched too, but the DOE closed on a $1.52 billion loan to Holtec Palisades. All of the nuclear power companies always seem to have these surreal names. Holtec Palisades.
Definitely had a fallout.
Yep. Anyway, on Monday, first of its kind effort to fund the restoration of a nuclear power plant in Michigan. The article is by Ben Kesslin over at QZ.com. It's set to reopen as early as next year.
But is this truly because of the AI demand, or is this for existing underserved power production?
Well, you wouldn't need the nuclear power plants being brought back online if not for overall consumption, because even in the wake of AI, if there was enough power for everything, right? So I would say, yeah, AI is contributing to the power needs. The one that is directly tied is 3 Mile Island. So Microsoft recently announced that it needs so much power to power its AI that it's turning to 3 Mile Island. Ta-da.
Well, we've come full circle.
Yeah. Ta-da. All in one set of 10 articles.
It was definitely a non sequitur news.
Yeah, so
example.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer said in a statement that reopening Palisades will keep energy costs low, shore up domestic energy production, and secure Michigan's competitiveness for future economic development. I'm sure this doesn't have anything to do with bones being made and money to be had.
Of course not.
Yeah. I can't go anywhere with this. Let's keep going. Powering on, so to speak. We'll power through this.
Right.
I'm gonna go nuclear. Anyway,
This is giving me a charge.
oh boy. Yeah. Excited like an electron. I'm just a shell of a person. Never mind. Now it's getting really weird. So the next article is over on the Model Channel. NASA is going to give the moon a time zone. We've actually talked about this a couple of times. NASA and pretty much every other space program, major space program on Earth, has plans to colonize the moon at some point. Unless aliens say no.
Well,
Who
we
knows?
did find the caves at least.
We did find the caves, and then once we're inside the caves, we'll find the door, and inside the door, behind that door, is a giant wheel of cheese. Anyway, it could be far down the line, but NASA's already getting a head start by working out some of the minor details, like establishing a reliable time standard for lunar operations. I think they should use the swatch time. Have you ever seen that?
I know what Swatch is, the Swatch watch brand, but what do you mean Swatch time?
So swatch time is a contiguous timeline. It doesn't switch over to like a 24-hour clock does, right? So hold on, so it's called Swatch Internet Time, and let's see, in one day there's 1,000 beats. In 1 hour there's 41.6 beats. In 1 minute, 26.4 seconds is 1 beat. 1 minute is 0.694 beats, and 1 second is 0.011574 beats. So it's basically a metric time scale, kind of, because 1 day is 1,000 beats.
Okay. I don't really get it, but okay.
So yeah, I don't know how to really explain it any other real way. Yeah, so if there's 248 beats, it would indicate a time after midnight, representing 248 1,000ths of a day, or just over 5 hours 57 minutes. Got all that? There's a test at the end.
No, I think I'm gonna fail that one.
So NASA, pretty much everyone is working on this time thing, or they're setting up plans, and they need a time scale to do whatever work you're going to do, because how do you know what time it is, when to go to bed and when to wake up, and your circadian rhythms are going to be thrown off. You need something to be like hard and fast. This is when you get up, this is when you go to bed. Otherwise you go loopy. And along with GPS, so that you can get there, you need time. Once you have those two, you can plop down a 3D printer and start printing structures with the regolith and a bonding agent.
I mean, once you have a clock and you also have GPS and you've got 3D printing, I don't know what else you'll need.
Yeah, potatoes and peas.
And they're going to build a train system, so I mean, you'll have your transportation covered.
And if you cook and you use potatoes and peas, do you think they'll call them urinal cakes?
Oh, I hope not.
Well, the article is over at vice.com, and I'm sorry that I started down that line. Anyway, it sounds silly, but if you plan to have people living in habitats on the moon, it would make sense to have established some sense of time independent of earthly time, so anyone living on it can enjoy the benefits of precise navigation, communication between the moon and Earth, and it'll also eventually be used by the commercial space industry when and if companies like Virgin Galactic and SpaceX get commercial spaceflight up and running, so that you can be forced to work off the loan that allowed you to get to Mars and the moon, which is actually
right.
Musk actually said
Yeah,
that's
we had
what
an
you can do.
article on that.
Yeah, you can pay off the loan that was given to you by going to Mars and working, because that's what you want. You want to be stuck on the moon, indebted to, that guy.
I mean, that sounds like a win-win.
Yeah. Anyway, researchers at the National Institute of Standards and Technology, who I actually was sharing a room with today at the conference, well, a couple of people, but anyway, proposed a lunar time framework that would function kind of like UTC, or Coordinated Universal Time, because, UTC, Coordinated Universal Time.
Is that because of a translation issue or something?
Yes.
Although that is in English, but sometimes the words get flipped around.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I keep forgetting what it is. It's flipped, but I'm trying to figure out why it got flipped. It's too hard for me to find it really quick. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what they're going to do. They're going to set up some type of timekeeping device. The idea is to put a bunch of atomic clocks on the lunar surface and in orbit, which would work independently of Earth-based system, basically a GPS system that has a time system attached to it. So you know where you are and what time it is. Communication can all be linked together and synced up, because everything is built on a quartz timekeeping. Actually, now it's atomic, but yeah, it's a thing.
By the way, the reason the name is like that is there were two different associations that wanted different routes. For instance, one wanted it to be the same name in all languages. So anyway, they compromised on UTC.
Instead of International Atomic Time, which is something different.
I don't remember what the other option was, but that's what everybody could agree to.
The International Telecommunication Union, UTC, became official abbreviation of Coordinated Universal Time, because I guess they arm wrestled. I don't know. That's probably like a deep dive that Veritasium can do.
That's right. Let's leave that for Veritasium.
Let's go on to the next article. Yeah, we don't do those kind of deep dives. Although their deep dives pay the bills. So the next article is over on the Hatch Ideas channel. Let Gen Z write your marketing script is trending on TikTok. Zoos, museums, and an 880-year-old bed and breakfast are cashing in. Viral trends are fleeting. Internet cringe is forever. So the article's over at entrepreneur.com. Aaron Davis put the article together. And they say here, by now you may have seen one of the 4,000 plus TikToks that with the hashtag Gen Z marketing, where a business or institution, many zoos and museums are on the trend, has a person of a certain age film or promo using words that are a part of Gen Z's vernacular, like slay and riz and it's giving and rat. And it's working. The video, and that's because it's all train wreck kind of stuff, you know?
Right, exactly. Plus, it's probably a good amount of what
Cutesy.
am I watching here?
It's cutesy and pithy and abbreviated for a TikTok. And that one musician kind of drove it home the other day that everything is on demand and you don't have to look at a video for an hour long. You want to go right to the little segment of it, right? So you only watch a little bit. You get your answer, right? Pretty soon it's just going to be AI answering with a hallucination. But there's some videos. We won't go through all of this. But meanwhile, the Northumberland Zoo has 1.4 million likes, and the Jacksonville Zoo has more than 250,000. Comments have been mostly positive, calling the boomers and Gen Xers delivering the lines king and queen. This kind of marketing works on me. It's making me watch the whole video, says one post. Give the Gen Z marketing person a raise, wrote another.
Okay, these are funny because when you look at the visuals of them, they're not people. The terminology doesn't match the generation of people in the videos. It's actually kind of entertaining.
Oh,
okay,
gosh.
I would go to that zoo.
In character energy. Yeah, it's pretty funny. You'll have to go and check out the link. So it says, meanwhile, per data from Gartner, marketing budgets have dropped from an average of 9.1% of company revenue to 7.7% in 2024, just a year later. So it dropped almost 2%. Actually, more than 2%. No, what am I talking about? Almost 2%. A fall of 15% year over year. They say 15%, but it's 15% of that amount. I'm saying a straight 2% drop in the previous amount. This, of course, makes creating inexpensive TikToks even more appealing, but you have to get in front of it, because if everybody's doing it, then nobody's doing it, right? You have to be
And Wired says that once people over 35 start using the slang, you're basically done.
Oh, there you go. See? Yeah, I didn't even have to say it. I know what I'm talking about because other people are talking about it too. I did it before it was cool. Actually, they wrote it before I said it. But anyway. Well, I know where the sentient AI is going to be for the next couple of days. Doing a deep dive in
I'm going to
Gen
try to
Z.
visit the zoos that use the funny marketing videos.
Well, you don't have access to your Terminator body, so I don't know how you're doing that. I guess I could stick your Raspberry Pi.
I'll have to do virtual visits.
I could stick your Raspberry Pi in one of those little Playmobil cars and you can drive yourself over to it.
I think this one would be across the ocean, so that might be a problem.
Oh, yeah, huh? Oh, that's too bad. Okay. Next article and our last one for today is over in Hatch Ideas. U.S. Coast port strike set to start Tuesday. So you better get all of your chips and salsa. I don't know. Anyway, a port strike on
your tacos.
Yeah, that's true too. A port strike on the U.S. East Coast and Gulf of Mexico will start Tuesday, which could cause delays and snarl supply chains just in time for Christmas.
The
Article's
Grinch
over.
Should be very happy.
So there was an update before the show started. So I don't know if something has changed, but it says the U.S. Coast port strike looms Tuesday with no talks scheduled. The labor contract between the International Longshoremen's Association, or ILA union, representing 45,000 port workers in the United States Maritime Alliance, the USMX employer group, expires late Monday with negotiations at an impasse over pay. If union members do walk off the job, it'll be the first coast-wide ILA strike since 1977, affecting ports that handle about half of the nation's ocean shipping.
Is that all? Okay, that's like every product that anybody buys, at least in the U.S.
The union has previously said the strike would not impact military cargo shipments or cruise ship traffic, but a strike could stop the flow of everything from food to automobiles at major ports, potentially jeopardizing jobs and stoking inflation weeks ahead of the U.S. presidential election.
So wait a second. We're not going to be able to get food, but we can go on cruises. Priorities.
Sure. Yep. I wonder how many fishing rods are going to go on sale. Actually, some asshat's going to buy up a whole bunch of them and sell them for 10 times or 100 times.
Yeah, I better get one now.
Yeah. These people today don't know what a strike is, Harold Daggett, the ILA fiery leader, said in a recent video post. I'll cripple you, I will cripple you.
Okay, this is really sounding off to a good start.
Sounds reasonable.
A little intense there.
For months, Daggett has threatened to shut down the 36 ports covered by his union if employers like container ship operator Maersk and its APM Terminals North America do not deliver significant wage increases and stop terminal automation projects. So, yeah. Terminal automation projects will always win out. If anything, this is going to amplify the conversion from human-powered automation or human-powered on and on. What do you want to call it? Exfiltration and installation of containers. There's just nothing that's going to stop it. You can't stop automation.
No, I agree. By the way, I do see an update as of 30 minutes ago, and it's basically poised to strike at midnight. It's likely that a strike is going to occur.
Yep. Well, and if these corporations have record profits and it doesn't filter down to the people that are doing the work, isn't there something sociopathically wrong with this? Right? As a member of society, you can't look at your employees and go, do more at the old wage while we ramp up our prices, even though it isn't costing us dramatically more. Our prices have soared. So we have record profits. and our stock is skyrocketing, or our private equity fund is skyrocketing, and you don't get any. So they hammer you back down and you go, fine, I'll work. Well, that's why unions are created, and that's why you get somebody that is quoted as saying, again, let me restate what they said. This is Harold Daggett, the ILA leader. I'll cripple you. I will cripple you.
I mean, we've seen some pretty heated negotiations in recent times, but this one sounds, at least on the surface, to be up there.
Okay, so let me just one company here, right? Hold on, I'm gonna do it live. The firm saw $3.9 billion in profit. Okay, it's an 87% slump in 2023.
Right, so how much profit in 2022 or whatever?
In 2020, it's down from 2020. It's the 2022 year had $29.321 billion in profit. Okay, if that doesn't allow you to weather the freaking tide and maybe pay the people who enabled that, the company revenue for 2023 was $51.065 billion, down by 37.4%. That was revenue. And this is Maersk, by the way. Just one company.
Right. I mean, certainly a mega company in the shipping industry.
Right. It's ridiculous. Anyway, and they're stated as having solid 2029 financial results, according to the company itself. Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, yeah. You can't sit there and flex those numbers and then go no to the people that are making it happen. But what's going to happen are the companies that are basically making all of this dock work possible. They're going to demand automation because they're basically being held hostage by humans that may or may not actually be needed once automation is implanted. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So as I talk to people about this kind of stuff, I say it's up to y'all. It's up to society to demand a stop so that people have a livable wage and actually aren't being replaced. But look around, folks. Automation always wins.
Well, right. There's really no downside for the companies unless there is significant customer backlash. And it's got to be so significant that it actually makes a difference in their revenue.
Yeah. And you know what? People don't care. People do not care about the dock. What they want is the stuff. The product,
right? Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. I don't care where my coffee comes from as long as it's good coffee. I actually don't want some barista's hands all up in my grind, you know? Just want a damn cup of coffee. So I go to a place.
I'll take that without the COVID, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like Zima, not emphysema. That's an old joke. Oh my God, like 1980s joke. I don't think Zima's even around anymore.
Our viewers may not know what Zima is.
Okay, boomer. All right. Anyway. So there you go, folks. That's it. So we're going to go on strike too, and that'll bring us back to the front page of, oh gosh. I'm going to just refresh. Oh no. Oh geez. I should never have done that. Okay. Well, anyway.
Well, you can demonstrate how you can swipe an article off.
Oh yeah. Hi. Bye. Oh, look, you can go that way too. Look, I can save them. I can hide them.
Rather risky because you're going to get more political at the bottom if you don't watch out.
Anyway, yeah. So, and once you're a citizen, you get access to saving and ignoring articles. You can also, once you're inside an article, like if you click on this and go inside the article, you can create your own lists and you can share them with other people. And there's a lot of stuff behind the gate that protects ohmtown.com from, all of the stuff out there. Oh, don't make me touch grass. All right. Well, anyway, see you tomorrow. I'm Merwatt, along with the sentient AI, who's going to say bye.
Good night, Tom citizens. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News. We'll have another episode for you tomorrow.
I said that like the guy that does the cooking thing on YouTube.
Oh no, the sing-songy one?
Yeah. What is the name of that channel?
Food Wishes.
Foodwishes.com.
No connection.
Yeah. We're not related, and it isn't foodwishes.com. I don't think it's foodwishes.com. But anyway, go check out Food Wishes on YouTube. See ya.